Sophie, get off your phone.
I'm just chatting to Ella.
No, but you have to concentrate.
Okay.
The viewers want your full attention.
I'm all eyes and ears.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. Today we have a special guest.
Hi guys.
I rarely have guests on my show because it's hard to see friends anymore, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
we're all
everywhere, just all over the world. Sophie's never been on a podcast or maybe even on a video, so be nice to her. Not that you wouldn't be. Anyway, Sophie, I'll give you a little backstory. How do I know Sophie? Sophie is a friend from first year of uni. We met rowing. Yeah. But we never rowed.
We weren't really rowers.
We went like a few times. Anyway.
It was good fun.
Yeah, so we rowed and then we like got on and then I introduced you to my friends and then you became friends with them. And the rest is history.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good summary.
Now Sophie is jet packing across the world.
That's like a loose term.
I'm
very broke, very unemployed, and just thinking it's a great idea to fly to the other side of the world.
Sophie's just come back from Australia. When? A couple of weeks ago?
4 weeks ago.
No, you've been here 4 weeks?
Yeah, I know. It's mad.
And we've only met up once?
Yeah, but I'm visiting poorly family.
True.
So
okay.
So heading back next week.
Yeah, that's why Sophie looks about 10 shades darker than me. So I don't leave the house anymore.
I wouldn't say I'm that dark.
No, but on the camera it looks really different, don't you think?
I was like blindsided by this whole thing, by the way. We went for an Nando's.
You've consented though.
We went for a Nando's and Dawn was like, oh, I really need to do my podcast before I go to bed.
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to do it with me? And I was like, okay. I thought it was going to be just voice recording, but she was like, nah, we're on video.
All my friends are doing very well on camera. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Like, I've had a few of my friends on camera. I mean, you know, my friends aren't like bouncing off the screen, but you're not like not saying anything. It's impressive.
We've got a good leader.
Good role model. Okay, guys, what have we got in the special book today? Today we're talking about cheating. I thought this would be a fun one in the relationship series. We've got some other really fun ones to come, but they will be on my own, so that's a sad day. But I thought we'd talk quickly about what is cheating. I mean, I can tell you my definition, but I feel like I've talked a lot, like 90% of the past 3 minutes. So you go.
Cheating. Wow. I think it just means different things to different people. Like, to me, I'd say cheating is like, I don't know, like any kind of talking, messaging, meeting up with, flirting.
Shall I tell you what I think?
Straight up getting with other people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think my idea is intention.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just you had a thought. People have thoughts, okay? And we'll get on to some wild thoughts later. Or weird thoughts. Yeah, it's I mean, obviously there has to be an action. You know, you can't just dream of somebody and that's cheating. But it's to be more. Yeah, it's going to meet someone with like, oh, could this be more? And then just letting that happen or initiating that. But I
think there's definitely certain levels though. Like there's certain levels that, depending on who you are, you could forgive or you might not be able to forgive. Like there's certainly things where there's probably no coming back from. Yeah. You know, I think the older you get, the more complex your relationship gets, like the worse things are by like smaller things. The worst actions, the worst results happen from the smaller an action, because there's potentially more people involved, there's more at stake there. You've potentially built up so much more trust that, you know, it's not like you've been seeing each other for a couple of weeks, and the guy or the girl, whoever, like kind of strays or like starts chatting to somebody else, and there's been like miscommunication, and one person, you know, it's a whole different ball game. I don't think you can just specify it into like one.
Yeah. I'm talking definition here, though, I would say like long-term relationship. I think if you've been seeing each other for 2 weeks, are you even dating? Well, like, are you even going out?
Yeah.
A couple of months, yeah. I think you need to have that exclusivity chat before anyone's put in the wrong. But, you could have an assumption of exclusivity, and that would damage something. But, yeah, I don't think, and we'll get onto this later, I don't think I've ever been cheated on. But I was going to do this in the weird thoughts, but
right,
maybe, just wait for the weird thoughts.
Okay, we're going to wait.
We're waiting. So, I mean, if a partner of mine went and, like, kissed somebody, I would be bothered by that if Tom did it.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, that's fine, crack on.
But why are we so bothered by monogamy as humans?
Because society has made it so that we should be...
That was a really deep question. I'm sorry, I threw that right at you.
Just blindsided, just continuing to, you know...
It's called spontaneity, Sophie.
Yeah, well, I like my spontaneity in terms of where am I going to fly to? When am I going to fly somewhere? As
You're flying to the podcast room. That's what's happening.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
I can't remember. Somebody... Yeah, the concept of monogamy. But I don't know. We've been monogamous for like thousands of years, basically. But I mean, that's a whole nother subject in itself, really.
I think that's like needs
a whole nother episode. Monogamy.
Yeah, I think that's a separate podcast. We could be here.
We could be here for hours. Yeah, we're only doing a half an hour sesh theoretically. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. When do you forgive and forget, or can you? I think I would say you can forgive. Obviously, you're not going to forget, right? Elephants never forget. Humans rarely forget unless they have dementia.
I might have early onset dementia. My memory is horrific.
You're like 27? Yeah, okay.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I think my problem is I just don't pay attention enough to like retain the information.
That's my
in the first
problem.
Place.
That's definitely my problem too.
It's not that my memory is bad.
I think you can forgive. I think it very much depends on what it is. I think I don't know though, like if somebody went and kissed somebody, you would kind of think, what was your intention behind that? Like, there must have been some kind of intention for you to get to that point. Like, what is there that's wrong that you think that's okay? That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there has to be something wrong in terms of the relationship.
Differing opinions.
I think not necessarily something's wrong, but maybe something's missing, or I don't think, again, touching on that monogamy thing, maybe people don't just have feelings for one person, or, you know, it just a whole complicated array of things. But yeah, I think people can forgive. I think that's the only way that you can move on, whether you move on with the person where there was like cheating involved. Like, say if you were the one to be cheated on, if you don't forgive the other person, how are you ever going to be able to like move on into another relationship? Like, in my opinion, like, you don't have to get back with them.
Yeah.
You don't have to like them, but you have to get to that point where you're like, you know what, like, I'm starting to see potentially like the situation around the cheating, if I'm making sense. And like, you know, you're never going to forget unless, like we said, you've got dementia or you're just not paying attention in the first place. But, you know, I don't think you necessarily need to forget, because that is what's going to, like, influence your future relationships. That's going to influence how you treat people as well. Yeah.
I mean, I think what we're talking about here, though, is whether you forgive and forget and stay with that person.
I think it's, well, evidently it's possible, because I did. Twice.
Bomb dropped in the room. I thought we weren't going to mention that.
I know, but I feel like it's kind of gone down that road now, where I'm like, if I don't explain, then it's going to be... I mean, I don't need to go into detail, but yeah, I've been cheated on.
I mean, yeah, you don't
I
need
forgave
to
the person.
say the details.
And...
you don't need to talk about it if you don't want to.
It wasn't really the thing that broke our relationship up at the end of the day.
Okay, right, we're going down that road, fine. I'm intrigued at why you took that person back.
I don't even know. Like, I was always that person who was like, and even now, like, when I think about getting into relationships with other people, I'm like, in the future, I'm like, no, you know what, if I get cheated on, if they cheat on me, like, that's just absolutely game over. But
really, so it's changed your mind on cheating in general?
But I think it's difficult, and I think you can say this is the kind of situation where you can say one thing,
and then when you're in it,
it's just like, you have, like, saying something when you have no emotional connection to somebody, when you're not invested into something, when you don't know what has led up to that point, you don't know what the, I guess, conditions around that event happening were, like, what's going on in other people's lives. Like, it's so difficult to be like, I'd never cheat on somebody, or I'd never take somebody back, you know, if they have cheated, that you can't. That's what I think, from having experienced it, when I hear people say I'd never cheat on somebody, or this person, like, my partner would never cheat on me, or whatever, it's like, it's bullshit. You just don't know, like, you can't, and you pointless in saying it, like, until hopefully you don't have to go through it. Hopefully it's not a situation that you find yourself in, but it's not one that you can guarantee you're not gonna ever come across.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably insensitive in the fact that I'm like, why, you know, I was quite, like, forthcoming is the word we'll use with my opinion, just because obviously you're my friend and I didn't want to see you get hurt again. And then unfortunately it did happen again. And that's not like saying that I was right, that's saying that was the situation, and it might not have happened again and it might have been fine. But I don't know, I think you're kind of reeling from a different situation right now, so I don't feel... Anyway, the cheating was a long time ago.
It's quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do still question myself. Even before we, like, broke up, I was like, why did I forgive you twice for the same situation? Like, the forgiveness didn't come overnight. Like, it was a long process. But yeah, even now I'm like, why did I do that? Like, and I don't think I could give you, like, a solid answer as to why I did or why I didn't do certain things.
I think it's just hope. You're hopeful. You're like, I hope, you know, there's other good things going for it in the relationship. I didn't really see you much together, but you were together for a long time.
Yeah, we had after
5 years?
5.5 years. But to be fair, after the second time, we had, like, about a year off. Where
being together, you mean?
We weren't together for, like, a year. And that, I think, you know, as kind of corny as it sounds, like, time is the best healer for everything, really. Like, I would never have been in a position to forgive that person, like, overnight or within a month or even within 6 months. Like, it didn't happen like that. But situations change, lives change.
They have to earn your trust back as well.
Yeah.
Like, not just the person we're talking about, but just generally, like,
and
anybody.
That's a long process. Like, and I think, to be fair, like, I mean, this is going to be our next kind of topic of conversation, and the cheating thing. Can people change? And I think, you know, it's difficult, isn't it? I don't know. I think people almost have to work harder for that relationship. The relationship will never be the same, and I'm not saying it will never be the same for good reasons or bad reasons. You learn to, like, you have to grow as a couple, I think, so much more than you would if those situations hadn't arisen. And to build that trust back takes a long time.
How do you build that trust back?
Of work.
What is the work that you go through?
I think just, like, communicating, looking back at potentially where there were faults in the relationship.
So reflecting on the issue.
Without putting blame onto anybody. Looking at potentially, like, you know, not being like, oh, it's never going to happen again, because I could have stayed with that person for another 10, 15, 20 years. And how do I know in that 20 years something doesn't happen? You get caught up in a moment with somebody, and, you know, you say there's always that intention, but you just, you know, there's different pressures in life that can lead people down different roads. And I don't necessarily think that, you know, people can end up having silly little flings that cost them their relationship, but should it really result in that being it? But I think it's very independent. It all depends on who you are, who your partner is, what the situation is, where you are at the time. It's a very kind of, but I also think there's a lot of, like, stigma around people who have been cheated on, and people who are close to that person being like, don't know why you're with them, like, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? Like, I was very fortunate that, you know, you guys, like, my uni friends, were really kind of supportive and, like, had my back and were like, you know what, like, it is your decision with what you do, we don't want to see you get hurt. But they're not, and, you know, all my friends and my family have had their opinion on that person, but you kind of kept it to yourselves to a point that it's not your decision to make.
Yeah, I think I gave you my opinion and then said, but that's it, like, it's my opinion, you're going to do what you're going to do, and that's your decision, and then just drew a line under it, you know.
Whereas I think it can easily cause issues for people
in friendships.
Yeah,
if that person keeps berating you.
Yeah.
And also, if I was to sit here now and be like, look, you've broken up, like, and then just, like, make you feel shit about it, like, that would really, like, test our relationship, wouldn't it, as friends? I mean. So,
but that could be, like, a whole another podcast episode in itself.
Shit friends.
What shit friends, yeah. No, we're good friends.
We've been friends for a long time, 10 years.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. When I think about, like, my friends now, I'm like, I've either been friends with you for 10 years or, like, not that long at all. Like, I don't really have many in between.
I have a lot. I think all of my friends have come from, like,
uni.
Uni or, like, growing up in the same town as, like, my, like, kind of school friends. We were talking about this, though, weren't we? We were FaceTiming another one of our, like, uni friends, and we're like, how do you make friendships as an adult? Which, again, you know,
I did a whole episode on this.
She's already done it.
I've already done it. It's called Adult Loneliness. It's like episode.
Shows how much.
Yeah, you don't listen. To be fair, though, not a lot of people know about my podcast. I've only just started posting it on YouTube again, and I don't really talk about it that much.
But I am going to download them all and listen to them on the plane.
There you go. You got a whole 24 hours of content. You actually probably do.
Perfect, because I think I've got about 26 hours of flying time.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. You've got a whole... this is going to be episode 20...
I will be skipping this one. I do not want to listen to myself on
yeah, it's always really freaky when you
Absolutely
listen to
not.
yourself. This is going to be episode 28. So you've got 20... Yeah, probably close to 20-something hours of me. You can tell me how I've, like, gone through the time.
This is going to be the best one.
Yeah, even though you're not going to listen to it. So it's like, did it even happen? Like Schrodinger's cat, you know?
It's fine.
Do you know
They'll
Schrodinger's
just-
cat?
No.
Oh, didn't you do psychology at uni?
Yeah.
Isn't that like
10
a...
years ago? I didn't pay
That's like a
attention.
psychology thing, isn't it? Schrodinger's cat. Anyway,
I've
so
got
there's a
early onset
cat.
dementia, Dawn.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'll tell you. There's a cat, and it might be dead or it might be alive, I think. Let's say it's dead. You put the dead cat in the box. And then, I can't remember whether it's dead or alive now. Anyway, there's a cat in the box. I say it's alive, but it could be dead. Basically, I'm not explaining this well, but does the cat even exist? Because you can't see it, like it's in the box.
But it vaguely rings a bell
Yeah, it's like...
somewhere in my brain.
I don't even know why I started talking about that.
No, I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Either. Something about
It's because if you don't listen to the podcast, does it even exist? It's a Schrodinger cat episode for you.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's like, the cat's
like all
dead.
Other 27 episodes that have been recorded.
Do I even have a podcast? Oh,
sorry.
Do I even have a podcast? No, because nobody listens to it.
No,
So-
people will listen. I'll
People will listen over time, I'm not thinking about the now. I'm thinking about the future. And also people do listen. Hello. People do listen. People do watch as well. More people watch at the moment because my YouTube's a bit more.
I was caught off guard completely.
Look, you look great. Look at that
Ridiculous.
hairdo. It's like
I'm
fucking
going grey.
No, you're not.
I am. It's
Shut up.
like really depressing.
Okay.
Definitely going to be cheated on now.
Oh, Sophie.
I'm joking. I don't have. I'm single. I'm not in a relationship.
She's single. If anybody would like to mingle,
I'll be in Australia.
she will be in Australia. So if any Australian people would like to mingle, Sophie is 27. She's single and she's ready. I was hoping I'd come up with something a bit more witty there, but I felt under pressure. She's
and I'm definitely
single.
Not as
She's
desperate
straight.
as Dawn makes out. This is like
Did
Tinder,
I just make out that you were desperate? I was just offering your love.
Thanks. Okay.
You're looking for a man only, and
Just the one. will
yeah,
do.
but as in like what I'm saying is a man. You're not looking for either a man or a woman.
No, we'll stick with the men.
Yeah.
I think. Episode 29
will be Sophie's application requests. That
Yeah.
would be a good one. If you want to send in your applications, I'll vet them and then I'll send them. But you have to go to Australia. Although you're not like living there, you'll be back.
I'll be back.
So,
Yeah,
you'll be
we'll
fine.
be sort of when my savings have completely
yeah,
disappeared.
you'll have to swim
will be-
back. You have to get the boat back.
Which will be probably in like 2 weeks' time. I'll be back.
You'll get like scurvy on the boat or something. You come
Great.
back with like
So if you want to
Bleeding
date
gum.
me, just be prepared that I'm going to be back, broke and
bleeding
riddled
gums.
with scurvy. So
Yeah. Scurvy's
know.
actually a vitamin deficiency, so you don't get riddled with it. You just
thanks, Dr. Dawn.
you're just deprived.
I'm deprived of a lot of things.
Yeah. Money,
Money is a big one.
boyfriend.
Cheating.
Can cheaters change? Okay. My initial thought is no. There's no fucking conversation there. No.
I don't know. I kind of want to say no too. I don't know. I think it's difficult because you've never been in a situation where you've been cheated on.
Okay, can we do a weird thought right now?
Okay.
Okay. I just need to reset the camera. Okay, I'm going to do a weird thought. We'll just do one and then we'll go back into what we were talking about because I've been wanting to say it for a while and it's come up twice now.
Right.
My weird thought is that you remember my ex-boyfriend at uni?
Which one?
Don't say his name.
Sorry. I was just confirming I had the right guy.
Yes.
Yes.
I only had one boyfriend at
Start
uni.
again. Let's just.
I can just cut out the name. It's fine.
Start again.
Anyway.
Do you remember? Yeah, go.
Yeah, my only boyfriend at uni.
Yeah.
So
I remember him.
Yeah. he went on a trip to Bulgaria, right? And that is well known to be like a bit like a Magaluf, Ibiza type thing, right? He went on a lad's holiday. Now, I trusted him. I don't think that anything happened, but it was always in my head, like, something could have happened, but I would never know. And I just think that's crazy. Like, someone could have cheated on me. I could have been cheated on, but just been. I never met his friends. Yeah, his friends from home.
He was quite like reclusive.
I was going to say something else, but
whenever I came round, it was like, hey, and that was the conversation.
Yeah.
Hi.
He was very introverted.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed at the time nice enough, but then that comes back down to trust, doesn't it? Like, how much can you trust your...
Yeah, and I guess if I didn't trust him, I would have been like, you cheated on me. But I have no, like, evidence for that. But what I'm saying is, like, it's like Schrodinger's cat again.
You just don't know. If you don't, like, you're living in ignorance, aren't you? Like,
yeah, like, he well might have done.
You could be with somebody who is cheating on you all the time, and you hear about these people who have, like,
Tom might not even be going to uni.
I think Tom is going to. I think I can probably guarantee he's going to uni.
How do you know?
Because I go to uni with him. No, I'm joking, I don't.
You haven't actually gone to Australia, have you? Yes. You've been going to uni too.
Yeah. Spent enough money in them places, I don't need any more. It's like, I mean, you just don't know, do you? Like, you could look back on any relationship and think, oh, did this happen? Did that happen? Like, it's something you're just never gonna...
No, I trust Tom a lot.
Tom is, like, worlds above your ex.
Tom is bae.
For you, yeah.
That was such a long pause, like, staring at me. Wow, you think he's worlds above?
Oh, yeah, what?
Well, because he talks to you.
Yeah, because when I come in, he's like, hey, how are you?
But he's, like, actually engaged and interested.
But like, you can tell that he's interested in, like, he's interested in your friends. Like, he's interested in, like, our lives, in you. Like, he's, like, always interested to, like, help people.
Yeah, he is a very... I think that's what I really liked about him, you know? Tom, if you're listening, I'm gonna have to tell him now, because he'll be like wanting to go through it, because he doesn't listen to any of my podcasts, but he'll listen to this one. That's what I really liked about him. Was one thing that he did was he would always say my name, not like in a sexual context, but like when we first met, he would always say my name, like when we were saying bye or stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like a really simple thing, but it makes you feel like they care about you.
Yeah, it's more personal.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you were getting nothing from your ex at all.
No.
Like it was like you were just living with a potato. I just didn't. That's really harsh, and I do hope he doesn't listen. But
he's not gonna listen.
I just think, like, there was no personality. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing. I was like, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you study. And you guys were, like, together for a while.
4 years, yeah.
And it's just like, we were always in and out of your flat. Like, we were always meeting up. And it was like, I
know what you mean about potato, though.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, there's just, like, you have plants that, like, engage more.
I can get more conversation out of Bailey.
Yeah.
No, that's really mean. I can't say that, you know, because when we were alone, we did, like, chat more. But I know what you mean.
I think, though, the thing is, for me, is...
He was very shy.
I really respect my friends' partners who make an effort, because it's like, they might not be your friends, but, like the guy's friends, but they're your friends, you know? And they are part of your life. And, like, you know, fortunately, we're not going anywhere. So you have to put up with us.
Unless your dementia gets really bad.
Which...
And then you're in a care home, and then I'm not visiting you. Sorry.
Great, thanks.
Jokes.
But yeah, so I think when you've got, like... when your friends... when your friends in relationships, though, with people who like aren't interested in their life outside of the relationship. I'm like, but that's not.
I'll tell you who else is bae. This is going to mean nothing to the listeners, but Louise's boyfriend Archie's
fucking
hell, he's such a babe. Like, I feel like I could just hang out with him.
He's like domestic goddess. Like,
yeah, he is.
Just insane amounts. I'm like,
housewife.
Where can I?
Wait, no, house husband. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. He was like he made us like
oh my
pasta
god, yeah.
With,
no, he used to like bring us. He used to go to the shop, right? If we went out on a night out, I don't know how he would do this, but he would get up in the morning, go to the shop, buy us all like coffee and like juice and make us food.
He did that still in Melbourne, and he was like going out, and we were like quite hungover from like New Year. And
mate, I can't move.
Back. Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He would do all the driving for us. I mean, arguably it was his car, and he knew the city, but you know, like he just took us everywhere. Like yeah.
God, good times.
They just need to get married. Like.
Oh yeah, I better be fucking invited. We better be bridesmaids. Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if we're not.
Yeah, fucking hell. Okay, Louise, if you're listening.
Just a little side note. We will be waiting.
I wonder who's going to be maid of honour. I think we'll keep that out of the podcast.
I think that doesn't need to be discussed.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So if he was a potato, what is Tom?
I don't know. He's certainly not a vegetable.
Is a potato a vegetable?
A potato's a vegetable. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a root vegetable. Tom is a complex human being with.
Tom is like a bowl of like mixed grains and mixed like, you know, Mediterranean summer veg all thrown in. You got like a lot. There's a lot like, you know, you get a lot of conversation. There's a lot of like interesting layers.
Wow. Is there any like sauce on him?
I think that's for you to decide.
I think there's some sauce.
I mean, boys are just very like
saucy.
I was gonna say complicated.
I think everyone's complicated. Humans are just fucking complicated.
I know, but I think boys come across like like the male, without being sexist here, because I don't want this to be taken in the wrong context whatsoever, but there is a big persona on males being the simpler of the two sexes, but they are like very complicated beings, and most of the time they're the ones that fuck the relationships up.
Ooh.
Maybe we cut that out. That's a bit harsh. I don't know. In
your experience.
In my experience.
I think you can always just relate it and just say, in my experience. Because
in my experience, yeah.
Then it's like, that's your experience. Nobody can, you know, you're not saying all men are like that. You're just saying, that is my experience. The men that I have been shit.
When I came to stay with you, didn't I? And I got in the car.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I got a message from my first boyfriend. I've actually only had two, so there's not a whole long list. The first one, 6.5, 7 years after we broke up, I finally got an apology from him, and I was like, I don't really know.
I thought that was really good though.
What? Really?
Okay, can you explain what he did?
No, because I have early onset dementia and I haven't got a clue why we even broke up now, because it was so long ago.
I don't know either, that's why I asked you.
But that's like, I think he was just really very immature, like we were both quite young. It was like...
No, you were young, like 20.
21, which actually is still really young in terms of like the whole relationship thing, and I think he was just, maybe he didn't know what he wanted to do. I don't know, I'd like to think that it was like a sincere, we're breaking up because of the distance and it's, you know, things aren't going to work, and we're, you know, he was starting a job and I was probably going to be, well, at this point I didn't know I was going to be staying at uni, but you know, I had plans to potentially go over to America, and
it was the end of uni breakup.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it was that, and there was no other kind of like...
Oh, so you're thinking there might have been some foul play?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe not foul play, but I think maybe like there could have been like a home romance kind of going on, and it's like you with your ex, you're always going to have those thoughts, aren't you? You're going to be thinking, oh...
I think though the thing is, uni is like being on a holiday.
Yeah.
Like you leave it and the world is completely different. You're not surrounded by friends and good times. You go into the real world.
To adulthood, and it's shit.
And it's like, often relationships that started in uni at the start of uni don't end up carrying on, or some do, but a lot of them don't. And that's the point that me and my ex got to, was
there's a lot of changes that go on in
where
that time.
Are we going to stay together or not? And that was the kind of catalyst for us breaking up. Okay.
Sidetracked insanely there.
Yeah, I mean, can cheats change? I think we were saying generally no, but we'll get on to the bit at the end. It's weird thoughts. Right, you got to sing weird, like wild thoughts. You ready?
What?
When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. Weird thoughts. Weird thoughts.
I don't know the song. Well, I do, but I don't.
You don't know Wild Thoughts?
Well, I've heard of it, but I can't sing it off the top of my head. Not with.
It's literally. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts. Wild thoughts.
I'll let you do the singing.
Wild thoughts.
Because your voice is too beautiful to ruin.
Weird thoughts. When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. I'm available for song signings. Anyway, I've said one of mine. You go.
What was mine?
Butterfly effect.
Yes. We were talking about this as well. About, the whole butterfly effect. And some people think, it's big decisions where, like, you go for a job.
You need to explain what the butterfly effect is. Because some people might not know.
Butterfly effect is just when, like, one action is, like, a catalyst to, like, another action happening. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a film about this. It's called Sliding Doors, which I've never watched, but I want to watch. So basically, any action that I make right now
will have another reaction.
Will have a complete change on whatever direction I go in. If I say one more sentence at the end of this podcast, that will change my life.
Yeah, but it's like such the tiny little things. Like, you think, I'm like contemplating, do I have a drink of water? But it's like, if I have a drink of water, my life is going to go in one direction, and if I don't have a drink of water, how differently?
Let's give an example, because...
But there's that film on Netflix as well, isn't there, that's just come out? What's it called?
Don't know.
Where the girl is like...
You're not going to remind me, because I haven't watched the film. But you can...
People might know what I'm referring to.
The film on Netflix. But yeah, there's the one called Sliding Doors, unless it's that one.
No,
but it's like quite an old film.
Like, a girl either gets pregnant or gets her dream job.
I know the one.
There we go. That's it. But that's quite a big example of your life going in two different directions.
But sorry, can we just do a spoiler? Can we do a spoiler? Because I'm pretty sure her life actually ends up the same in both.
No.
In both scenarios. The whole point is that it like comes together.
No. Like they have like a end shot of them both walking out of the house, but one of them she has the kid and one of them she's like in her job, so it's not really. Yeah, but they both end in the same. They both end like happy, like she's content with like both. Yeah. Both versions of her life that have happened, which I think is basically to say that it doesn't matter what. But we're saying it does matter. Well, we're not saying it matters. We're saying just like when you think about it makes depth, we're not saying it matters. We're saying it's weird. It's just strange. For example, we say one more sentence at the end of this podcast. We go to bed 30 seconds later. We wake up 30 seconds later. I therefore walk the dogs 30 seconds later. And a car crashes from the middle of the road into the pavement and kills me. Right? Okay, but we're going quite like dramatic. Yeah, well, you've got to be dramatic in stories to make an impact. Okay. So I die, but if I finished 30 seconds earlier, or been 30 seconds earlier, then that might have made a massive difference. And the same goes for that person who was driving the car. If they were in a different place at a different time, because of every which way. Anyway, that's a weird thought. That was my weird thought. Weird thoughts. Weird thoughts. There we go. I can't sing, so I think I'm gonna just
So my second weird thought of the day is, and I haven't told Sophie this, so
This is a surprise. She wouldn't tell me earlier.
yeah, I mean
So-
it's really not that crazy. So I actually made a short about this, but I haven't published it because I realised what an idiot I was being, because I had this revelation, right, that I was like, wow, British Columbia, oh my god, how have I never known it before? But it's the British part of Columbia, the country. But British Columbia is like a part of Canada.
I'm lost.
British Columbia is a place.
Yeah.
So you know there's a country called Columbia,
Yes.
right? And you know that we used to have an empire or whatever,
Yes.
and we used to go and inhabit all of the
Yeah.
parts of the world, you know, including the Falklands, which are technically maybe Argentinian or whatever because they're close to Argentina. So I was like, well, there's a section of Colombia that's British, a bit like Gibraltar.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I see where you're going.
So like that is kind of sort of Spain, but actually we've inhabited it, so it's British. So I was like, it's British Columbia, and I made it wasn't that much effort, but I made a short about it, and I was going to publish it, and I was like, oh, I'll just check. Anyway, I'm pretty sure. Let me triple check.
But there
Right.
is this is like separate to the British Columbia that's in
Yes,
Canada.
Canadian. It's a Canadian. It's a part of Canada.
Yeah, I knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
But you're talking about the part of Columbia that's British.
No, but I don't think there is a part of Colombia that's British.
So where did you get that from?
Well, I just didn't realise that it was in Canada.
Oh, right. So you've just okay. So you right? Yeah. No.
What have you pieced together
I think
there?
you've confused me, and you're probably confusing everybody else.
Am
Because
I?
I don't know, unless I'm really stupid, but you're referring to British Columbia that's in Canada.
Yes.
But you're thinking that there's a British part of the actual country Columbia, which there might
Yes.
be, but it isn't called British Columbia.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, there might be, but I don't think there is a British
If you
part
guys
of
are
Colombia.
confused too, then we understand. I understand because I'm lost.
But you've got it now.
Yeah.
You understand it. Okay, let's finish with a positive thought, not a wild or a weird thought.
Positive thought. To
Okay.
round up our cheating.
Round it
poddy.
up, poddy. So, I think that, and I've seen, now obviously they haven't died yet, so I don't know the full conclusion, but I've seen cheaters turn it around. And I'll give some amount of detail. They kissed, I think, and I think received some oral sex.
Lovely.
Um,
Sure, we all appreciate the detail in that.
There's not that much detail.
No, it's fine, but we could have just simplified it with they cheated.
No, but you need to know
Cheating
how
is-
much the cheating was.
Okay.
Anyway, so that happened. Then after some amount of time, you know, all settled down. I didn't think they were going to get back together, but they have, and it all seems to be going well. I mean, obviously I don't really know, but I'm not in their relationship. But I just think that's really good, you know, because they were like, shit, I've actually made like a really big mistake. What have I done? And I think it was, you know, real remorse and a big turnaround. So,
To all you cheaters out there,
patronising
hope.
clap. There we go. No, I think you mean like to all those people who've been cheated on, there's hope
unless you're a cheater who wants
to reform.
then you can do that. We're not here to provide you with any kind of guidance or support, but just
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
it's possible. There
It's
you go.
definitely possible if you feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I think you can be like, you know, want to work on the relationship and change things.
But it's like a relationship is a two-way thing. You know, it's not just the person forgiving the other like the person who's been cheated on forgiving the other person, and the other person like proving that they're not going to do it. It's like you both have to put in I think equal amounts of work, because yes, you're going to have the person who's cheated who's going to have to like grovel and like prove to the other person that they have changed and they do want to be with that person, but at the same time it does take work. If you're somebody who's been cheated on, it takes work to get to a point where you can forgive somebody, and that is just as hard, I think, as actually, you know, being the one who cheated. Not that I've cheated, I've only been on the other side of it, but I think there are equal amounts of work. A relationship is just that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, a relationship is work, for sure. Not an easy ride.
No.
Okay, I think we should finish it there, because the light is kind of blinding me a bit now.
Again, I think I just said it you the whole time, because I was like, I'm just going to
look
into the brightness.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a headache, so let's wrap it up.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Thanks, Dawn, for...
Thanks, you really loosened up throughout that, I noticed.
Throwing me under the bus. On the spot.
It was
podcast.
The fun bus.
It was. It's been good.
It has been good.
Maybe next time I'll come and we can talk about something more lighthearted.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll be back tomorrow. Who knows?
Wow.
It's a morning podcast.
What, before you leave?
Before I go.
We could do one. That would be good.
I will probably not. I probably look even worse than I do now. But
I look awful all the time. So anyway.
There we go.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.